If you're running a retail business, don't let disorganized order fulfillment cause chaos. Use ShipStation instead. From running a business out of your garage to multiple warehouses, ShipStation is ideal for every phase of your growth. Save time with one login for all your stores and by automating tasks. Plus, you'll get the best shipping rates from global carriers. Calm the chaos with the shipping software that delivers. Start a free trial at shipstation.com/audio. That's shipstation.com/audio.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is VSiN PrimeTime. Live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Hour number 4 of VSiN PrimeTime. We're live from Vegas, and Johnny Vegas is live to win the PGA Championship. 200-1 first-round leader. And as we were told, or not we, Matt Youmans was told from Jeff Sherman at the Westgate Superbook. Matt, how many people bet Johnny Vegas to lead the first round at the Westgate Superbook?
That would be 0. So the book scooped the pot on that first round leaderboard today in the PGA, at least at the Westgate Superbook. Johnny Vegas also went off 575-1 here at Circa. And Sam Cooney, golf odds maker here at Circa Sports, said the book took 5 small bets on Johnny Vegas, 575-1. Sam Cooney's going to be on the show with us tomorrow night to talk about the PGA heading into the weekend. Wes Reynolds, the Wizard, America's golf handicapper, joins us here in about 15 minutes to give us his thoughts at the end of the first round headed to Friday. So look forward to Wes's appearance. Right now at DraftKings, the live odds board, the adjusted board after round 1 in the PGA, Scotty Scheffler, the favorite, at plus 330, and he's 5 shots back of Johnny Vegas. Bryson DeChambeau, what did we say DeChambeau? DeChambeau's 6 shots back.
7. Even money.
Oh, yeah,
he's even par.
7 back. Yeah, he's 7 back, and he is the second choice at 12-1. Terrell Hatton, who I have at 55-1, is at 16-1. John Rahm at 18-1. A Rombo sighting for the first time in a while. Johnny Vegas right there with Rahm at 18-1. Ludwig Oberg 22-1, along with Colin Morikawa, Aaron Rai, and then you got Victor Hovland 25, Rory McIlroy 28. So that's how the board shapes up at DraftKings after round 1. We'll get Wes Reynolds' thoughts here in about 15 minutes.
Well, history repeat itself. 34 of the last 35 PGA Championship winners, this courtesy of Justin Ray, have been within 6 shots of the lead after round number 1. So that would mean Scotty Scheffler is live. Colin Morikawa is live at 1 under. Bryson DeChambeau just on the outside, even after 1 round. So we'll see how this all plays out. But Matt has proclaimed that when I'm on the air, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time, Johnny Vegas will not be your leader.
He will not.
At the PGA Championship.
I do think he's going to shoot 71 on Friday. He will still be 7 under, and he's going to be a couple shots back of the lead when you come on the air Saturday morning. What time is your show Saturday morning? 7 a.m. Pacific?
7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern.
That's
Matt,
early. That's early. Where do you stop to eat on the way in at 7 a.m.? Do you go to Dunkin' Donuts or where?
I usually stop at Dunkin', get a little coffee, but don't usually eat. I'm coffee in the morning, just fueled up with coffee and water. And it's probably not healthy, but I don't know. That's just the way I roll. Will I, on Sunday, Matt, be getting geared up for a Game 7 of the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder? They are scheduled to play at 3:30 Eastern
I hope so.
in Oklahoma City on Sunday if the Nuggets win today. 61-58 the halftime score right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder with a 3-point lead. Your second half number, 2 juiced to the Oklahoma City Thunder, -15. So full game, you're looking at around 5, right around pre-flop number. And second half total is at 114 after we saw in the first half 119 points.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's really changed here from the pregame is we're about where we started on the number. I got Nuggets +5 right now. DraftKings Nuggets are 4.5-point dogs for the game. Actually, that number is now 3.5.
Interesting.
It's interesting. Did you just watch that move on your screen too? OKC went from a 4.5 to a 3.5-point favorite there in the last 10 seconds.
Interesting to note too, because if you look at the betting market, the second half line is 2 at Circa and plenty of other spots, which would mean 5 for the full game. DraftKings is cheaper. So if you do like the Thunder, DraftKings would be your place at -3.5.
The total is up, though, Tim. That's the major adjustment here. You bet the under.
I suck.
I didn't disagree. Total 232.5. I'm glad I didn't bet the total because I really thought this was going to be more of a grinder game tonight. 232.5 the live total at DraftKings. Money line on OKC is -175 with a 3-point lead at the half. This has been a roller coaster first half. Nuggets were up 10, 30-20. Then Jamal Murray exited the game. He went to the bench for his regular rest, and that's when the OKC Thunder made a run. So Nuggets went from up 30-20 to down 58-46. 10-point lead, a 12-point deficit. They tied the game at 58 right before the half. And then I think it was Lou Dort hit a 3 right before the halftime buzzer to put OKC up 61-58. So we are now underway in the second half. And good news for you, Tim. No points in the first 30 seconds.
Woo!
First 30 seconds of the first half, the second half, scoreless. So that's going to help you.
Keep it that way. Is this a bad beat? Let me ask you this, Matt. So Carolina beats the Washington Capitals tonight by a final score of 3-1. If you were so inclined to take Washington on the puck line, +1.5 tonight, you had to lay a hefty price at -185, -180 or so, Matt. It was 1-1 with 2 minutes to go. The Carolina Hurricanes won 3-1. That's a tough one to swallow. If you do have if you had the Washington Capitals, as the Carolina Hurricanes win 3-1, they are moving on to the Eastern Conference Final, and they will face the winner of Toronto and Florida, who play tomorrow night in Sunrise. The Florida Panthers, a significant favorite tomorrow night at around -240. Denver and Oklahoma City.
Nuggets have the lead, Tim. 62-61. First 4 points of the second half. I know you have not seen every possession here, but Michael Porter Jr. drove the lane, and he threw up an air ball from about 8 feet. I don't know how he could throw up an air ball from 8 feet, but he did. On the next possession, Chet Holmgren threw up an air ball from 3-point range. And that's how we get to 62-61. Nuggets get a bucket there from Jamal Murray, and they take an early lead here in the second half. Favorite has flipped, and Nuggets -1.5 for the game.
Matt, we got a baseball game about to get underway at Chavez Ravine. The Dodgers hosting the A's, the cityless A's. 22-21, the record, I should say, for the A's this year has been a very impressive season for them. The Dodgers have been phenomenal at home, 16-4 straight up at home for the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers, a significant favorite here tonight. Looking at the betting market right now, we are out to -245, so maybe a little bit of pushback here on the A's here as this game about to get underway. Only a couple of night games this evening. We had a bunch of day games earlier today, but the Dodgers -245 here at Circa. That's the cheapest price if you do want to take the Dodgers. If you want to take them on the run line here, you would lay $130 on the Dodgers -1.5.
That's the way I considered playing this game tonight. Ultimately, I passed on the Chris Macero play of the night, the Dodgers on the run line, but I think that's the way I'd play it. You lay 1.5 at -130. You just can't lay the 240 on baseball betting. So you take your chances. You always, a lot of times, hate to bet the home team on the runs line too because you get one less at bat.
Yep.
But again, Dodgers last night on the runs line covered easily, had a late explosion, won the game 9-3. Previous night, the A's won the opener 11-1 at Dodger Stadium. But Dodgers have won 2 of the last 3. They scored 8 runs against the Diamondbacks in that series finale. Tonight, here's the key. Well, if you're going to play the run line on the Dodgers, you would do it because of this pitching matchup. Sauer is going for the Dodgers. That's not the most important part. The starter for the A's tonight is Osvaldo Bido. In 41 innings, he's only got 27 strikeouts. That's 5.8 Ks per nine, which is a very unimpressive number. He's also allowed 9 home runs in those 41 innings. He's got a whip of 1.51, an ERA close to 5. You would think Dodgers hitters should feast on Osvaldo Bido tonight, total of 9.5. So I didn't bet it, but I was close to playing this. I was close to playing Dodgers on the runs line.
Shohei Ohtani has had himself quite the month of May. He led off yesterday with an absolute blast to right field. His home run prop at DraftKings, as you would imagine, is pricey. Only plus 140 for Shohei Ohtani on a home run tonight, but he's hit 6 home runs so far in the month of May. He's heating up, if you want to quote NBA Jam.
What's interesting too about Ohtani? Look at his RBI total. It's really low at this point. He's got 13 homers.
Yeah, 30 RBI
with 22 RBIs.
Wow.
And in fact,
and I guess when you bat leadoff.
Yeah, he had a leadoff homer last night. But the thing is, last week I looked at one day and he had 10 home runs and 16 RBIs, which is ridiculous. But Ohtani right now batting .307 and 13 homers, 22 RBIs, 10 steals. Ohtani wouldn't shock me if he led off the game with a home run tonight against Osvaldo Bido, or if he went deep in general. But Dodgers would look like the play tonight against an A's team that's not bad.
No, they played well this year.
Yeah, the A's, and they proved that in a series opener against the Dodgers, but this A's team is not a joke.
The only other evening game has gone final as the Texas Rangers shut out the Houston Astros, a final of 1-0 there in Texas. So the Jacob deGrom started tonight, minus 125 favorites or so. Texas gets the win. That total saw some significant money come their way, and it was right as it closed 6.5, and we see a total of 1 run. So about to get underway there between the Dodgers and A's. That'll be the final game on the baseball board. 9:45 to go in Winnipeg. Scoreless between the Stars and Jets, as that is a critical Game 5. The Jets trying to stave off elimination. Hey, just a reminder, folks, we've got a great deal going on over at VSiN.com. You need to use this promo code PRO, P-R-O, and you get 14 months. We're throwing in 2 free months of VSiN Pro access for $199. You get everything we have to offer, all of our football action, all the basketball, all the hockey, all the baseball. VSiN Pro. Use the promo code PRO over at VSiN.com/subscribe. The Denver Nuggets have started the second half, Matt, on a 6-0 run, and they lead the Thunder by 3. We'll talk some PGA Championship with Wes Reynolds next.
Life can be chaotic. If you're running a retail business, don't let disorganized order fulfillment add to the chaos. Use ShipStation instead. With ShipStation, you never have to worry about shipping and fulfillment again. Whether you're running a business out of your garage or you have multiple warehouses, ShipStation is ideal for every phase of your business's growth. Save time with one login for all your stores and by automating repetitive tasks. Plus, you'll save money with the best shipping rates from global carriers. ShipStation's industry-leading features help you deliver a better customer experience. They'll get accurate and faster shipments along with automated tracking updates with your branding. And with up to 88% off UPS and USPS rates and up to 90% off FedEx rates, ShipStation is the fastest and most affordable way to ship. Calm the chaos. Switch to ShipStation today. Start a free trial at shipstation.com/audio. That's shipstation.com/audio.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Alongside Matt Youmans, I'm Tim Murray. It is VSiN PrimeTime. You're on this Thursday evening. One final from playoff action already in the books. The Carolina Hurricanes beat the Washington Capitals 3-1, 2 goals in the final 2 minutes, including an empty netter to get the puck line home for all of the Carolina backers out there. Scoreless right now in Winnipeg, 8 minutes to go in the first period between Stars and Jets, as we have seen the under come home in 2 of the 4 games in the first period there. And an update from the hardwood as Christian Brown gets a putback, 72-71, 7 and change to go in the third quarter between the Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. All right, let's head to our progressive guest line. Wes Reynolds joins us right now to talk some PGA Championship, courtesy of our progressive guest line. And we've been talking about it all night. Johnny Vegas, Wes. And you know what? I'm going to tee up Mr. Youmans here to ask the question because you were wondering what Wes would predict. So I'll give it to you.
All right,
here.
Wes, I made a prediction on what your prediction is going to be. Johnny Vegas, 7 under, 64 today, to be the Cinderella story out of nowhere to lead the PGA after the first round. What do you predict that Johnny Vegas will shoot in round 2 on Friday?
75.
Wow. 75.
Matt said 71.
75. You really think he's going to backtrack?
Well, he gained almost 6 strokes when you combine putting and around the green. And, oh, by the way, when you look at kind of what he has done for the season, now, look, you can always have a spike putting week or spike in some kind of stat. But Johnny Vegas, by the way, when you look at what he ranked on the PGA Tour, he is 119th for strokes gained around the green and 130th for strokes gained putting. He's only made the cut in 6 of 16 career cuts. So I think he's going to fall back. I think a lot of these guys on this first page are going to fall back because I've been getting comments, texts, and messages on X. It's like, this looks like the Puerto Rico Open and not the PGA Championship.
By the way, DraftKings has it right now over under 72.5 for his second round, minus 105 to the over, minus 30 to the under. So when we look at the leaderboard, it's a bunch of names that, you know, if you're a casual golf fan, you're not too familiar with. As we look a little bit further down, Scotty Scheffler sits there at 2 under, and he is your betting favorite at DraftKings. I haven't looked at other spots, but I'm imagining, Wes, he's the favorite in most other spots at plus 330. What did you see from Scotty today, and what do you expect from Scotty over the final 54 holes?
Yeah, I thought it was a very solid round and very workmanlike to be 2 under par. Not a lot of the big names can stay the same. He was pretty good off the tee, gained about 1.66, I think is the exact number in terms of the amount of strokes. Gained 1.7 around the green. Hit most of his greens, was pretty accurate in terms of the fairways. Just really didn't putt very well. Didn't putt badly, but kind of a net zero in terms of the putting. So, look, I think he's right there at 2 under par. This was a guy, he had never actually played Quail Hollow before because he never plays the Wells Fargo, which is the usual regular event here. So you never really know. But with Scotty, it's like, you know, he can contend on every single course. So he's the rightful favorite, in my opinion. But there's a lot to be decided here. I just think that, you know, the weather, it's going to firm up tomorrow, the course, I think, because there's not going to be any rain. So it might have been a little bit soft today, but it's going to firm up tomorrow before we get some showers on Saturday. But Scotty, look, he's going to be right in the mix, I think. You know, I did not bet him, and I usually don't because he's about 3 or 4 to 1 in every tournament. So hopefully he doesn't get there, at least for my sake.
Wes Reynolds with us, America's Golf Handicapper. Wes the Wizard, you had a pre-tournament bet on Bryson DeChambeau like I did. Where do you feel like DeChambeau stands now, 7 strokes back? And did you bet anything on Rory McIlroy pre-tournament?
Nothing on Rory for me this time because I thought Scotty should be the favorite over Rory, even though Rory had won 4 times at Quail Hollow, because Rory just, you know, finally got the monkey off his back, finally won the career Grand Slam. He stayed busy. He's played a couple events. He's had to do all this media. So I didn't really like Rory a lot this week, but I did like Bryson. Bryson was the first one I clicked because I thought, okay, this guy's out for the redemption. He was vanquished in the final group against Rory at the Masters, so Rory got him back for the U.S. Open at Pinehurst last year. But even though Bryson is even par T46 right now, I still think like he might be kind of in it. He, by the way, led the field for driving distance, as he usually does, at 332.6 on average. He was also near the top for strokes gained off the tee. he putted very well. He just kind of the chipping and the scrambling around the green was not very good and not very on point for Bryson. But I think he's going to be fine. I would be surprised if he didn't shoot like a 3 or 4 under round to at least give us backers some hope for his cause this weekend.
Chatting once again with Wes Reynolds, part of the Long Shots podcast. You can also read his column over at VSiN.com. Matt, you're going to have some words up on VSiN.com as well, I imagine tonight or early tomorrow morning. So elsewhere, Wes, I'll kind of leave the floor is yours. What about Tyrrell Hatton? We had Steve Sands on the show on Monday night, and he thought Hatton was a guy that was potentially live. I know, Matt, you took a crack at him at north of 50-1. He's down to 16-1 at DraftKings, plus 260 to finish top 5. What did you make of his round today, and do you think it is sustainable for Hatton?
I think it is sustainable, and he would be the one guy kind of near the top I would add that I don't have. In fact, Tyrrell Hatton, I think I might have a placement on him, but tee to green, he was tremendous today. Gained about 5.02, so he's actually second behind Ryan Gerard, who is tied for second at 5 under par. His tee to green was excellent. Didn't really gain with the putter, but gained around the green, gained on approach, gained off the tee. He was 12 of 14 fairways hit. He was 8 of 10 for getting up and down. So Tyrrell Hatton, I think, is a guy that's kind of on that first page of the leaderboard that I think is going to have some staying power, because I was just having a text exchange with Paul Howard. I'm going to be on with the guys on Follow the Money tomorrow. And he was like, who was your FOMO guy? And I said it was Tyrrell Hatton, that I did not bet before the tournament, because I think this leaderboard is going to get turned upside down. I think you're going to see Cam Davis, who had the best putting mark of his career, gaining over 6 strokes. Cam Davis, Gerard, Vegas, some of these guys, Alex Smalley, who was the last alternate in the field. These guys, I think, are going to tumble down the leaderboard. But I think Tyrrell Hatton right there at T9, he's going to stay there strong. I expect him to contend all weekend.
Well, I hope you're right, Wes Reynolds. I've got Hatton 55-1. Now, the one player I'm going to probably add is a player you've already bet, and that's Ludwig Oberg. He is at 22-1 at DraftKings. You bet him pre-tournament, right? How'd you feel about his first round?
Yeah, I feel pretty solid about it. He got disappointed, but everybody kind of disappointed at the end on the Green Mile. That's the whole stretch 16 through 18, where so many were over par today. But Ludwig coming in, his approach numbers weren't very good, so a lot of the modelers didn't like him. But I liked him. I know he had a couple bad finishes at the RBC Heritage, and he finished like 50th last week at the Truist. But the guy was in the top 10 at the Masters, and he's good on these long courses. He hit it on average about 322 today. I thought tee to green, he was very good. Could be a little bit sharper on his irons, but I think Ludwig is right there. There's some of those guys at 1 under that I think are going to stick around. I think Morikawa got in at 1 under. Rahm got in at 1 under, but I feel pretty good about Ludwig. I think you're going to see some cream rise to the top. I know people are fretting because it's like we're casual fans and we've never heard of these guys and we don't know a lot about these guys. You're going to have some big names, I think, going into Saturday for sure. So they're going to have good rounds on Friday.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. It's not going to continue to look like the Puerto Rico Open, as you called it, the first round of the PGA. Wes, we're going to have a column up at vsin.com tonight. You're going to have thoughts in it. I do. Kelly Bidlin, Matt Brown. What are you going to say in terms of bets you would recommend going into round 2?
I didn't add anything personally, but Tyrrell Hatton is a guy that I wrote highly of, just the way that he had played all day. I think Victor Hovland, I like the way he played today. He ends up getting in at 2 under. He probably should have been 3 or 4 under, but I like the way that Victor played. And that's what I did. I went with some guys that maybe weren't in peak form, but the prices were too high. That's why I played Ludwig at 28 when people were betting him at half the price at the Masters last month, and Victor Hovland at 55. So I tried to, get some guys, maybe catch the falling knife, shall we say, on these guys. And hopefully they rise up the leaderboard on Friday.
He is Wes Reynolds. Follow him on social media at Wes Reynolds1, and he'll have a column up today over at VSiN.com.
I'm going to make a prediction that Wes Reynolds is going to be on your morning show Saturday or Sunday or both days.
That is going to be a fair assessment. As long as you'll join me, Wes Reynolds will definitely be on one, if not both, of those shows.
No, I can't say no now that you've advertised it for the people. So
we'll talk a little Pacers, too. How about that? We'll throw in a little Pacers chatter as we'll wait for your beloved Pacers Pacers to see who they face in the Eastern Conference Finals. Wes, always appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
There he is, Wes Reynolds there on our progressive guest line. Quick update from the Mile High City. It's getting a little ugly. 80-76 the score. Matt, the total down to 226.5. Maybe I've got a chance. Maybe. We'll see. Nuggets with a 2-point lead, and they are a slight favorite over the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll update you on that game when we return.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Jamal Murray gets a bucket to make it a 5-point lead for the Denver Nuggets with a minute to go in the third quarter. Alongside Matt Youmans, I'm Tim Murray. End of the first period in Winnipeg. No score between the Jets and the Stars. The second straight game we've seen a scoreless first period. So right now, live line for Winnipeg and Dallas. The Jets, a slight home favorite, -130. Total down to 4.5, juiced under at -$1.45. Matt, 53 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Denver Nuggets were down 3 at the break. They are now up 5, 85-80, and an offensive foul was just called on the Thunder.
Jamal Murray points prop, 21.5 at most spots. He's now over that. He's got 22 points. He's shown no signs of being sick tonight. That was a big story pregame. Jamal Murray listed as questionable with an illness. I have not seen that in this game. 88-80 now. Nuggets up by 8. About to bury a 3 here. Oh. And how about
Julian Strawther?
Julian Strawther off the bench with a couple of threes here in this quarter. That's one guy I thought maybe the Nuggets should be playing more. He's definitely proven that here in the third quarter. He's been a difference maker. Nuggets are going to score here right before the end of the quarter. 90-80. This is a 10-0 run to close the quarter for the Nuggets. And Thunder get a bucket right before the buzzer here at the end of the third quarter. 90-82 is where we stand. Nuggets, 5.5-point favorites, total 227.5. How about this money line, Tim?
Thunder plus 260?
At one point, the Nuggets were down 12 points in the second quarter of this game. They are now -5. Well, just about -350. Let's call it -395. I tell you, the DraftKings price is all over the place here.
I think they're going to challenge this foul call, and they might. I don't know.
The bucket might be taken off the board.
We're trying to cheat the game here. To be honest, if you're watching with us, we're looking at the live line where the game's a little bit behind it. But
so what's going to happen here is SGA is going to go to the free throw line. Anyway, Nuggets are going to be up either 8 or 9 points here at the end of the third quarter. Money line is -350 for Denver, which is now a 6.5-point favorite. And, Tim, how has this game turned here in the third quarter? It was 61-58 at halftime, but before that, it was 58-46 OKC. And Denver up now 90-82 at the end of the third.
By the way, Nikola Jokic, his pregame double-double prop, I think I said it was -1,800. Well, you cashed it if you laid the -1,800, but he's got 18 points and 13 boards. He needs 4 more assists to get to that triple-double prop that our friend Ian Cameron did play. But the end of the third quarter, 8-point lead for the Denver Nuggets as they, outscore the Thunder by 11 in that third quarter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the way with 24 points. But he has been held to just 11 shot attempts. Jalen Williams has not been on point, I should say. 6 points for him. Chet Holmgren, 14 and 10. But you mentioned it. Jamal Murray, is a bit the story here. 11 points in the first quarter, Matt. We saw him on the bench, was kind of bundled up, didn't look very healthy on the bench, but a really strong third quarter there. And you asked it pregame, who is going to step up for the Denver Nuggets outside of the Joker and Murray?
Been a lot of guys, actually.
Christian Brown look at his stat line tonight. Holy smokes. 19 points, 3 threes, 8 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. Christian Brown has really stepped up tonight for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, Joker might end up with a triple-double. Right now he's got 18, 13, and 6 with 0 turnovers in 33 minutes. So Joker's playing great. But like you said, Christian Brown, 19 points. How about Michael Porter's actually scored 10, which is like found money for the Nuggets. When Porter puts up 10 points, has 4 rebounds. Aaron Gordon has not been bad. He's not been a force, but he's got 5 points and 6 rebounds. But off the bench, Watson with 4, Westbrook with 4, and Julian Strawther with 8. That's the guy. You're talking about, do you even call him a rookie head coach for the Nuggets? Adelman.
He's an interim.
He's an interim head coach. He's green. There's a lot of pressure on him in a playoff situation like this. I don't think he's handled everything really well, but Julian Strawther is that one guy that probably needs to play more minutes. He's not using his bench like he should, but Strawther tonight gets in. He's got 8 points in 9 minutes with 2 threes, and he was a big difference maker there in that third quarter. Sometimes it's tough, Tim, for a young coach to trust the guys to come off the bench. He just wants to stick with his 5, right, and maybe a 6 guy. Strawther is a guy you got to play more, and he's going to help the Nuggets here in trying to close out Game 6, maybe in a Game 7 off the road if you give him more minutes. So that's the guy Adelman I think is going to play a little bit more because that bench has been a non-factor aside from Russell Westbrook showing up here or there. Strawther's the difference maker in the third quarter tonight with 8 points, 2 threes, and the Nuggets up 8 headed to the fourth.
Live total 227.5. We've got 172 points right now between the Thunder and the Nuggets. 90-82 is the score, so this thing has slowed down a little bit. We were in the mid-230s at the end of the second quarter, but a dominant third quarter from the Denver Nuggets as they outscore the Thunder 32-21. It's been an interesting game of runs where Denver was up 30-20. The Thunder ended the first quarter on an 8-1 run, and then this quarter, Matt, the Thunder were up by 2, and it was tied 80-80, and the Nuggets end the quarter on a 10-2 run. So, yeah, it's been a game of runs here.
Well, don't forget the fourth quarter was all about the OKC Thunder. What was it, 34-19 in the fourth quarter in OKC in Game 5, and that was when the Joker made 4 field goals, and the rest of the Nuggets combined to shoot 1 for 15 from the field.
Do we see it again?
I hope not. I've got Nuggets plus 5. Hopefully the Nuggets can close this out. I thought there was a good chance they would close this, or they would win this Game 6 and force a Game 7. Also really hoping to see a Game 7, Tim, because I love Game 7s in the NBA.
Yep.
Obviously, the Stanley Cup playoffs are great too. But I thought that the OKC Thunder, being a young team on the road, trying to close out the former champs with the 3-time MVP. It's not going to be easy for OKC tonight. And that hasn't been the case. And Nuggets up 8, so hopefully the Nuggets not only cover as 5-point dogs, they win this game and force a Game 7.
The stat that you did not want to see, over the last 2 games, the Thunder have outscored the Denver Nuggets 63-37 in the fourth quarter. So we will see what unfolds here this evening. An 8-point lead currently for the Denver Nuggets over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Game 7, if we were to get to it, would be on Sunday afternoon. So these teams will get a little bit of rest. This won't be a Saturday night game. It will be a Sunday afternoon. Matt, we will not have basketball on Saturday night. No basketball on Saturday night. Tomorrow night we get Celtics-Knicks. If that's a Game 7, that would be on Monday night as well. Quick update from the ice. Scoreless after the first period. We've got a Game 5 going on in Winnipeg as the Jets and the Stars right now going head-to-head. And
we get a 3-pointer from the Nuggets here.
There you go.
93-82.
The Denver Nuggets, who were down 3 at the half, playing a strong second half here as they have a double-digit lead. I want to say this is their biggest lead of the game, and it's Jamal Murray. Tell you what, man, Jamal Murray, once again, the illness, I know concerns some people, but he has been not looking sick whatsoever. He's making Thunder fans feel sick by the way he is playing right now.
Well, I've said this, said it in the pregame. A lot of times you hear stories about players being sick, and then they come out and play great. It's happened many times. You raise your level of focus when you're ill, fight through it, and that's what Jamal Murray's done tonight. If you looked at his stat line, you'd have no idea this guy's sick. He's coming off a game in which he attempted 27 field goals in that Game 5 loss in OKC. Tonight, he's 9 for 19 from the field with 2 threes, 5 for 6 at the line, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, only 3 turnovers, and 33 minutes on the floor, 25 points. He is the high scorer for the game tonight with 25. Tim, and that's the one guy who a lot of people feared was going to be the issue tonight for the Nuggets because he was sick, Jamal Murray, and he's the game's leading scorer with 25 right now.
Matt, a quick update from Chavez Ravine. The A's struck first. They scored a run in the top of the first inning, and the Dodgers doing what the Dodgers tend to do. Freddie Freeman RBI single, scores Mookie Betts from second after he stole second, and then Max Muncy said, no need to run Freddie Freeman. I'll hit a 2-run shot here. 3-1 Dodgers with the lead there in the top of the second inning over the A's, the final MLB game on the board. Hey, just a reminder, we've got the Preakness, of course, this weekend at Pimlico, and horse racing fans, get ready for VSiN at the Track, live tomorrow with everything you need to know about the Preakness. You can join our own racing expert, Mike Somich, who nailed the superfecta in the Kentucky Derby, as well as Aaron Halterman, as they break down the field, deliver expert analysis, and share their top picks. You don't want to miss it. VSiN at the Track. It's streaming live tomorrow, 2:10 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel at VSiN Live.
Mike Somich not the only one that hits superfecta. I hit that in the Derby. 8, 18, 21, 3. With the help of Bob Ike, who's going to be on our show Friday night to preview the Preakness. So tune in here, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Friday. Bob Ike will talk horses. 7-point lead here for the Nuggets, 93-86.
It is VSiN Primetime.
This is VSiN Primetime on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Putting the finishing touches on VSiN Primetime. That's Matt Youmans. I'm Tim Murray. Matt will be back with you with Will Hill tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with some great guests lined up to get you ready for a busy weekend. You will also be sweating out Knicks and Celtics tomorrow night here on these airwaves. I'll be back 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday morning to get you ready for the Preakness, get you ready for hockey, NBA action, and maybe a Game 7 to preview on Sunday afternoon. Update from Denver, 97-88 is the score as the Denver Nuggets leading by 9 right now. Matt, live total, 218.5, nearing the pre-flop number. And the spread is out to Denver -7.5, -660 on the money line right now. Are the Denver Nuggets down 3-2?
Feeling pretty good about the Nuggets +5 here. Hopefully we can get that home. I want the Nuggets to win this game, obviously, not just cover, but get a Game 7. I haven't looked at it. I'm going to predict it. If you check Chris Macero's Twitter account right now, at Real Gauge, he's probably going berserk about the OKC Thunder and the meltdown they're having here in the second half tonight because he's got a big futures bet on OKC, I believe, to win the West. And I still like OKC to close out this series in 7 games at home. I know it's a young team. It's just tough to close out a veteran team on the road when you're a young team. That's why I thought that number being 5 tonight was too high. I really thought it probably should have been like 2. OKC like a 2-point favorite. That's why I took to 5. But in Game 7 in OKC, let's say you don't have any futures that you want to hedge, I would bet OKC on the money line. I think that number, I don't know.
It's going to be high, man.
I don't know how high it's going to be. I thought, so maybe I'll bet maybe an in-game money line on that or whatever I'm going to do. But in Game 5, I took the Nuggets +10.5. I don't think you could possibly make the Game 7 number 10.5, could you?
I wouldn't think so.
I think it should be 8. I thought 10.5 was ridiculous for Game 5.
Yeah.
It ended up being 112-105, but the Nuggets controlled the first 3 quarters and just melted down the stretch. What do you think they're going to be?
Would I be curious? Well, I mean, you're going to have the Game 7 tax. I think it probably. Let's look back here. All right, Game 2, the game they won going away was 10.5. Every game has
but
been
that was predictable because the Nuggets stole Game 1 of the series, and you figure that coming off a tough series of their own, Denver was probably going to be coasting and mailing in Game 2. So that was a game where I had no interest at all in betting the Nuggets was Game 2. So I understood the 10.5.
Every game this series at Oklahoma City has been 10.5. So I would imagine it'll be. I agree with you. I think it will be cheap. I'm not saying it's gonna be 10.5.
I can't lay that type of money line price. So
I think it's gonna be. I'll say 8.5.
I think it should be 8.5, but we'll see. I'm probably gonna have to bet this in game to get decent value on a number because I would not lay that. Let's put it that way. I think the Nuggets are gonna be playing with a lot more confidence. The support players, Tim. The guys like Christian Brown.
Julian Strawther.
Guys like that are playing well tonight are going to go into that game 7 with a little bit more confidence.
Julian Strawther, 10 points off the bench. Look, Michael Porter Jr., I didn't bet it, but he actually did go over his player prop because of just the poor performances we had seen the last 2 games. So we will see. What I'm curious about, Matt, and
what cashed? Will Michael Porter show up and show a pulse? And yes, cash. Yes, cash.
There's a plus money price, too, I think. Speaking of player props, Jamal Murray, over points, over rebounds, over assists. On the bench right now, though. Is he back on the floor? He's got to be back on the floor. Yeah, he's back out there. So Jamal Murray, man, this is a hell of a performance from Jamal Murray tonight.
Joker from 3,
Nikola
100-88.
It's
Denver over OKC
3.
with 6 minutes to go.
Denver trying to put the finishing touches on the Oklahoma City Thunder to give us a Game 7 in OKC on Sunday afternoon.
Check Chris's Twitter page, would you?
All right, while we wait for that, let's turn our attention quickly to tomorrow, Matt, because you do have a best bet as Madison Square Garden. Ooh, buddy, things are going to get real tight if the Celtics come out and play like they did in the second half last night. The Celtics and Knicks, Game 6, Madison Square Garden, as Nikola Jokic gets another bucket to make it a 2-touchdown lead for the Denver Nuggets right now in the final 6 minutes of this game. Matt, the Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. If you're looking at the money line, minus $1.35 is the cheapest you can find on the New York Knicks. They need to try to close this series out, Matt. Do they close it out tomorrow night at MSG?
For that, I will tell you that Chet Holmgren just shot a 25-footer from 23 feet. That means it went 2 feet over the rim. All right, so I'm going to say the Knicks close it out. The Celtics are so reliant on three-point shooting, and they were so hot in Game 5, 22 for 49, that's 45%. What happened there?
I think is that Jalen Williams got a great steal and then just completely airmailed the dunk.
That's airmailed a dunk?
Well, it slipped out of his hand and it went over the rim. It was poor explanation.
I did that once in high school.
I did that too. It was not good. Knee buckled. It was not
22 for 49 from 3. The Celtics were in Game 5. Derek White was a player I actually I was talking with Doug Kazarian about this, and Doug actually had a great point. He said Julian Strawther should be playing a lot more for the Nuggets too. But I said yesterday, I thought Derek White was the guy who had to step up. With Jason Tatum out, I thought White had to be the guy.
Boy, did he ever.
7 for 13. He got off to a great start, great middle, great finish, 34 points, 7 threes, 9 for 11 from the free throw line. The thing is, the Celtics shot 22 for 49 from 3. And you shoot 45% from 3, you're probably going to regress in the next game. Plus, you're playing at the Garden. Knicks are going to be playing with a lot more intensity. I was really disappointed in the Knicks and how they kind of mailed it in. I thought in the second half, they got outscored by 25 points in the second half. It was a tie ball game at halftime. I did not see that coming. I also thought Jalen Brunson was a little bit off from the start. Brunson, I would probably look to play his points prop over. He had 22 points in Game 5. He was 7 for 17 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. I think you're going to see Brunson put up 20-plus shots, probably score 30-plus points. I expect a big game from Brunson. The Celtics' three-point shooting to decline, and the Knicks to close out the Celtics. I did bet Knicks -2. We'll use that as a best bet.
Our best bets is always brought to you by our friends over at G-Bank, the official bank of VSiN. You can get your G-Bank Visa signature card today, folks. Most credit cards treat sportsbook and gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money on the card. G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees on gaming transactions right there. Also, with G-Bank, you're earning 1% cashback rewards on all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions, 2% cashback rewards on eligible purchases. Apply now, vsin.com/GBank, vsin.com/GBank. GBank.
I'll throw in one more best bet. Since I did not bet him pre-tournament and I thought about it, I did bet Ludwig Oberg in a matchup against head-to-head matchup full tournament against Tommy Fleetwood. I'm going to add Oberg tonight. I liked the way he played today. I thought he could have scored a little bit better than he did. I know a lot of guys feel like that when they walk off the course, but Oberg's one of those guys who, we were so high on at the beginning of the golf season, and even go back to last year, you said, this guy's so talented. He's going to be one of the top players on tour within a couple of years. Well, things have faded. His odds ballooned a little bit this week. He was as high as 28-1. He was about half that at the Masters, as Wes Reynolds pointed out. Right now at DraftKings, you get Ludwig Oberg 22-1 going into round 2. He's 6 shots off the lead, but at 1 under, that's easy to make up that type of ground over 3 days. So that's one guy I did not bet pre-tournament. I'm going to bet tonight.
All right, I'll give you one more bet, and I'll explain it more on Saturday. Give me Clemson to win the ACC. Not in baseball.
Oh, okay.
Football. Plus 160 at BetMGM. They actually went to the portal a little bit, Matt. I think they've got the best quarterback in the country returning in Cade Klubnik and Tom Allen, now their new defensive coordinator. They'll be a favorite in every game in the regular season, especially in the ACC, Matt. So give me Clemson at plus 160 to win the ACC. No Miami on the regular season schedule. I think if they make it to the ACC championship, they'll be a favorite. So if you need at that time, you could hedge off of it. But Clemson to win the ACC, my first college football bet, plus 160 to win the ACC. All right, that's going to do it for our show. Waiting in the wings, Jolton Joe Serralo. He'll have the final moments of this OKC and Denver game. He'll have you with the line for Game 7. Of course, Game 7, if it does play out, which is the way it looks it will be on Sunday afternoon. Thanks to Evan Abrams, Andy Lindahl, Ian Cameron, Wes Reynolds. Thanks to Justin, our producer, everyone behind the scenes. For Matt Youmans, I'm Tim Murray. Joe Serralo coming up next, and then start your morning with Super Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis with VSiN by the Books. This has been VSiN Primetime.